So today we'll be demonstrating an experiment that focuses on the densities of different water solutions. This is a great experiment, especially when families are thinking about going on vacation in the summer, like to the lake or the ocean. And this experiment especially shows the difference in densities between those types of waters, whether that be salt water in oceans or fresh waters in rivers or lakes. A great thing to do before this experiment or even after is to watch different videos such as the Blue Planet or Planet Earth that really go into depth about different waterways on Earth, whether that be in oceans or rivers. And kids are really interested in the animal life that comes with that. So that really kind of captivates their attention towards this. To start, I've got 4 somewhat clear cups. I chose these cups because they're pretty festive. Each one is filled with water, in which I'll dissolve 2 tablespoons of each of these substances. So I've got baking soda, salt, sugar, and then we've got our control. And it's important here to talk about a control and what that is in an experiment. So in this case, we won't be dissolving anything in this cup. So it'll be just water, and that shows as it's a comparison point for the rest of the solutions. And then I'll place a raw egg in each of the solutions, and we'll see, which ones float, if they do, and how the different densities affect the flotation of the egg. One thing also that would be great to do here is to have students make their own hypothesis about what they think will happen and why. So yeah. So I've mixed about, give or take, about 2 tablespoons of baking soda, salt, sugar, and nothing in the control. And so then we drop our eggs. So we've got baking soda, egg in the salt water, egg in the sugar water, and then egg in the control. So I don't know if you can see this, but in the baking soda, when the egg fell, this is a great point to make. Students make observations and about what they're seeing physically. But when the egg fell, it didn't fall as fast as the egg in the sugar water did. The egg in the salt water is floating completely, and then the control sank down as well. So now it's important to talk about why these things happened and the science behind it. The main objective of this whole experiment was to talk about and demonstrate how different substances in water and solutions affect densities and how that in turn affects flotation of certain objects. So as we can see here, the salt water was more dense than the egg, therefore the egg floated. For the sugar water and the control, the water was less dense than the egg, therefore the egg sank. And then finally for the baking soda, as we put the egg in, it didn't fall to the bottom as fast. So although, the water may be a little bit closer in density than it is in the sugar and control, it's still less dense than the egg, and therefore the egg sank. I recommend doing this experiment with the teacher doing it in front of the whole class instead of having individual students do this at their desk. It gets pretty messy with the baking soda and the salt and sugar, but also using the eggs might not be the smartest idea in a 4th grade classroom, but there's many other materials that can be used in place of that. This is an easy and great experiment to do, especially when you're studying, physical matter. So, the difference between solids and liquids and how, densities affect the two. So, yep.